Bonsoir tout le monde. Tonight's homework is Chapter 3, Mode. So please open up your Chapter 3 packet to page 7 and listen to the video and watch the video and make sure you write down your English definitions next to your words. Remember, you can always pause the video if you need more time, and you can watch it as many times as you like. Okay, here we go.
Des fournitures scolaires.
Ooh, that was loud. Des fournitures scolaires is school supplies, some school supplies. That's what this means, some school supplies. Fourniture is supplies, and scolaire means school.
Un bloc-notes.
So a bloc-notes is really just a memo pad, a pad of paper. Let's say a memo pad.
Un sac à dos.
A sac à dos is a backpack. It literally means a bag on your back. Backpack.
Un classeur.
Classeur is a binder. Binder.
Une feuille de papier.
Now, we saw this one before in the beginning of the year. This is a leaf of paper, what we call loose leaf, or a sheet of paper. Okay, it's a sheet of paper.
Un stylo bille.
So, un stylo is a pen. Un stylo bille is just a ballpoint pen. They're kind of the same thing. A ballpoint pen.
Une règle.
We've seen this one before too. Une règle is a ruler. A ruler.
Un feutre.
Un feutre is a felt tip pen or a felt tip marker.
Un crayon.
We know this one. Un crayon, bit of a false cognate. It's not a crayon per se, but it's a pencil.
Un livre.
Un livre is a book.
Un cahier.
This one skips around a little bit. This is actually above feutre. You know the word cahier. We say it almost every day. It's a notebook. A notebook. Un cahier. And you find it under règle, but above feutre.
Une calculatrice.
Une calculatrice is a calculator. A calculator.
Une gomme.
And une gomme is an eraser. An eraser. Okay. If I went too fast, you can pause, you can rewind, and re-listen to it.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
All right, so this long question means what is it? We know that c'est means it is, and qu'est-ce que means what. So what is it? And when we want to answer that question, we use the word c'est again.
C'est un cahier.
It is a notebook. What is it? It is a notebook. Okay, now we're going to learn about all these ER verbs we've been talking about. These ER verbs are going to help us express activities that we do.
Après les cours.
This is after classes. Après is after.
La caisse.
So you can see we're inside a store here, and this young lady, she's working there. She's the cashier. La caisse is the cash register. Cash register.
Payer.
This ER verb is exactly what it looks like. It means to pay. Payer is to pay.
Un magasin.
Now don't get confused with this word. It's not a magazine. It actually means a store.
Un magasin.
A store.
Le sac à dos. C'est combien, s'il vous plaît?
So he's saying the backpack. It is how much, please? Remember the question word combien is asking how much or how many? The backpack, it is how much, please?
$20.50.
And she responds $20.50. Now, just looking at this word dollars, this tells me that this store is in Canada, not in France. $20.50, or what we call centime in French.
Sylvain regarde un sac à dos.
So this guy over here, his name is Sylvain, and he's looking at a backpack. Sylvain looks at a backpack.
Il demande combien coûte le sac à dos.
This is another ER verb. It looks like demand, and it means to ask for. He asks for, or he asks, how much costs the backpack. So this one's a little tricky because I have two ER verbs here. I have demander and I have coûter. Demande, ask, coûte, cost. He asks how much the backpack costs.
Il achète le sac à dos.
Here's another new verb, acheter, means to buy. Il achète, he's buying the backpack. He's buying the backpack. I can see that our list here is really messed up. We're really skipping around. I hope you guys are keeping up. So this whole thing about Sylvain is just down a couple of paragraphs from where we left off there.
Il paie à la caisse.
He pays at the cash register. He pays at the cash register. So this whole paragraph started with Sylvain on your paper, a little more than halfway down on page 7. He pays at the cash register.
Lucette travaille après les cours.
Right now we're talking about Lucette, and her paragraph is actually above Sylvain on your paper. This is Lucette right here. Travail doesn't mean to travel, it means to work. Lucette works after classes. Lucette works after classes.
Elle travaille dans une papeterie.
She works in a stationery store. It kind of looks like a paper store, right? It's what we call a stationery store. And that's where you can buy all kinds of things like office supplies, school supplies. They don't really have very many small stationery stores anymore because we have all those big box stores like Office Depot and Office Max and Staples. But that's what a papeterie is. It's this store here that sells all these supplies.
Combien d'heures par semaine?
There's my combien de again, which means how much or how many. How many hours per week? How many hours per week? And that's referring to how many hours does she work in a week? How many hours per week? And the answer is
10 heures.
Do you remember this number, D? D is 10. 10 heures. And when I have my X in front of my H, I make a little liaison there. 10 heures. Sounds like a Z sound. 10 hours. Talking about numbers, we've got some numbers here. These are on the back of your sheet. And I'm actually going to stop here, and we're going to wait to do these in a couple of days. But what I want to do now, I need to skip over to the front of your sheet on page 7. And if you can find where it says Après les cours, Patrick ne travaille pas. After classes, Patrick doesn't work. That's underneath Sylvain's paragraph. After classes, Patrick does not work.
Il rentre à la maison l'après-midi.
He returns. Rentrer means to return. He returns to the house in the afternoon. He returns to the house in the afternoon. Or every afternoon, I should say. He returns to the house every afternoon.
Il rentre chez lui.
He returns home. This word chez is a funny little word in French. It's a preposition and we don't really have an equivalent in English. It shows location. You can put it in front of anything to show location. So this means he returns home. This is his house because Louis means him. If I were to say chez toi, that would be your house. If I were to say chez moi, that would be my house. If I said chez McDo, that would be at McDonald's. Okay, so we don't really have a word in English. It's just, it shows a location. He returns home to his house.
Il écoute la radio.
He listens to the radio. Remember, écouter means to listen to. He listens to the radio.
Il parle un peu au téléphone.
He speaks a little on the telephone. He speaks a little on the telephone. And on your paper it says he speaks a little on the telephone with friends, avec les copains, with friends. All right, if you need to stop here and go back because you missed something, go right ahead. Otherwise, you can forge on with me here and do the exercise with me. Qu'est-ce que c'est? How would you answer this question? Remember, this question means, what is it? Qu'est-ce que c'est? If you said, un sac à dos, you were right. C'est un sac à dos. It is a backpack. Qu'est-ce que c'est? What is this? What is it? If you need to, look on your paper and find what it is. Did you come up with classeur? If you did, you got it right. C'est un classeur. It is a binder. Now we have to come up with a verb for this sentence. Richard is my subject. What does he do dans une papeterie après les cours? If you go back to Lucette's paragraph, you're going to find the verb you need. Did you say travail? If you did, you got it right. Richard works in a stationery store after classes. Emily achète un livre. Emily buys a book. Elle paye à la... You can find the answer to this one in Sylvain's paragraph on page 7. Elle paye, she pays. Where does she pay? Did you say à la caisse? There it is, at the cashier, at the cash register. Last one. We need a verb here too. Michel, does something at home, at his house, after classes. I think there's only really one that will work here. Can you find the verb? It means to return. Michel rentre chez lui après les cours. All right, guys, good job. Remember, you can always go back and listen as many times as you like, and you can use it to practice pronunciation as well. I'll see you tomorrow. Bonne nuit.